Welcome ulit!
What's up?
It's
What's
episode
up?
7 of the Hoop Nut video log / podcast. Catch us on iTunes and YouTube. That's where we upload all these crazy things we do on the blog and on hoopnut.com. Follow us on Twitter as well. Our Twitter handles are there at the bottom. For episode 7, we will mainly focus on some individual awards for the end of the season of the NBA.
Playoffs coming up this week.
Yes, we've talked about MVP ad nauseum. We've talked about Defensive Player of the Year as well. So we're going to focus on the other awards this time around. We're not going to have our usual Asian basketball and Canadian stuff for this episode first. Ipunin muna namin lahat yun for the next episodes. Right now, we'll focus exclusively again on the individual awards for the NBA. And because we've discussed, again, MVP and Defensive Player in the past episodes already, we're going to focus on, first off, Rookie of the Year. So, Rods,
I think this is...
ito pinakamahirap eh.
Yeah, I mean...
Rookie of the Year. Sino piliin mo, di ba? May Jordan Clarkson ka.
Yeah.
Elfrid Payton. Yeah, mahirap yan. Sige, ako si Payton.
Sige.
Hello, hindi ba obvious kung sino to? Sabihin mo na ako.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad that guy from Milwaukee got hurt.
Sino yun?
He would have given this guy...
Maalala yun, parang November pa.
Sayang siya. But hopefully he'll come back strong and with less heft.
Yeah, sana. Jabari Parker, we wish you the best. Hopefully you come back. I mean, sidetrack lang ha. When he comes back, and if this team is healthy, this Milwaukee team, you got Parker, you got Chris Middleton, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever, and then you got MCW. It's a very, very, very good, athletic, fast,
a young team,
energetic team that's gonna be miserable because their coach is Jason Kidd.
We'll see. This guy's a champion. Don't forget.
We'll see. I'm just joking, Jason Kidd. He's a good coach so far.
Champion. So anyway, I think easiest pick.
ROY is
Wiggins. Okay.
Andrew Wiggins, the boy from Canada.
He's from Toronto.
Toronto. Kababayan.
All right.
Ni Rolly Mendoza from Toronto.
Only if I had skills like him, sayang. Anyway, so
Andrew Wiggins,
easy.
ROY.
Easy.
Kasi wala na ba talagang ano dito? Ako, honestly, a couple of weeks ago when Mirotic was having his his field day with the Bulls, I was actually thinking about it. But has Mirotic done enough to steal the Rookie of the Year award from Wiggins? And the answer I think is no.
No, definitely not.
Mirotic has come on lately, but not enough, I think.
I think when we're looking at rookies, we're looking at primarily numbers. We disregard team wins. We know how Minnesota is doing. We're really looking at numbers, highlights, and we know Wiggins has been giving us a lot of highlights. He's somewhat, I don't want to say perfected, pero he has this spin move, then dunking over, tomahawk slam in the middle, regardless of who's guarding you. He's done it at least twice in the last couple of weeks.
He's just super good, right?
He's really good.
I'm kind of reminded of when Tracy McGrady first came.
Actually,
jumping out of the gym,
Pwede.
very agile, very lanky, payat din, diba? Of course, McGrady redefined his game by shooting a lot of threes. I'm not sure if Wiggins can do that.
He has been making some every now and then, but let's see. We'll wait for the summer for him to improve his range. I think the shooting form is there. It's just really if he's comfortable with that part in his game. Because I think the other guy who got hurt, Parker, was a better mid-range to long-range shooter. But Wiggins has the overall athletic, long, fast, jump out of the gym type wingman. Okay,
so Wiggins ROY. Very, very quickly, Ross. All-rookie first team, joining Wiggins. Who are the other 4 guys?
I think one of them will have to be the guy from Magic, Payton.
Elfrid Payton with a weird hair.
We're looking also possibly at Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens Noel of Philadelphia, who's still counted as a rookie, even if he was drafted in 2015.
Because he missed the whole year.
Yeah, parang Blake Griffin lang.
And then I think another
Mirotic,
and of course,
Ricola!
Of course, our guy from the Lakers.
Jordan!
There you go. Clarkson. So there's your first team. Second team, wag na. Hindi na kailangan.
Wala na, kahit sino na yung second team.
Bago na sila. Punuin na lang nila yan.
Marcus Smart, Zach Lavine, second team na lang kayo. Okay, moving on. How about this one? This one is for some people, this was a bit more debatable in Coach of the Year award. And I think it really comes down to the top two teams for each conference.
Yeah.
Or top two teams over. Top one for West, top one for East. And their coaches. You have Mike Budenholzer for Atlanta. And then you have Steve Kerr, first-time coach.
Rookie coach.
For Golden State. Who for you is Coach of the Year?
I think, for me, it has to be Steve Kerr. Things that made it, for me, a good pick was, of course, number one team, Warriors, in a much tougher Western Conference. They also beat their franchise record in wins. And let's not
Only
forget,
2 losses at home so far.
let's not forget, this guy is also a rookie coach. And I think something that made it tougher on him was he had to get this team to like him coming from a
Mark Jackson-led
team who I think some of these players loved him. Maybe a couple did not like him, and then one of that, Bogut, sabi niya, mas gusto niya si Kerr.
Wow.
Diba? So,
Wow.
to be able to transform this team into where they are right now, I think you have to give the nod to Steve Kerr.
I agree. My pick is also Steve Kerr. I think just the fact that he has essentially the same team that Mark Jackson did, but he's done much better. Of course, the thing is, Golden State's been really healthy this season. Just that alone, I think, is a good indication of just how great a coach Steve Kerr is. You know? He's been able to inherit this kind of team and really, talagang pigang-pigay. I mean, he really milked them for all they've got. And they're a legitimate title threat right now. I'm not sure they're the title favorites, even if they have the best record overall. But they're a legit threat to steal the title from the Spurs, to maybe even beat Cleveland or Atlanta or Chicago, whoever goes out of the East in the finals. But I want to make a case for Mike Budenholzer as well. I mean, when people were making the previews for the season back in October, September, nobody gave Atlanta a hell of a chance. To finish in the top 4.
I believe there were a couple of the other guys who said, Hawks number 1? No way.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But he's been able to do that. Parang the argument for Budenholzer is he's been able to do maybe almost as good as Kerr did in Golden State with much less talent. Pwedeng ganun. I mean, he took the Spurs system and he put that in place in Atlanta with no superstar whatsoever. Ang pinaka-superstar mo naman si Al Horford.
And he's normally, actually, I
maybe
argue
like
against that, our big Jeff Teague, actually.
Yeah. I mean, you have a balanced team. You have Jeff Teague and Dennis Schroeder at point guard. You have Horford and Millsap up front. You have Kyle Korver. You have Kent Bazemore. You have all these guys who are not big-name guys, but they're the number 1 seed by far in the East. So that, I think, deserves a lot of credit. I still think Kerr gets the win here. But boy, Budenholzer
just really
awesome.
managed to, at least this is on his second year, put the stamp of the Spurs on his team. Spurs East, sabi nga nila. Diba? Really team-oriented, ball. But at the same time, they're in the East. So, I mean...
Grabe ka naman. So, walang kwenta na agad.
Hindi naman, pero... But again, Atlanta to become a number 1 seed this year compared to, I think, last year, pangilan sila, 27th, 8th seed ata. So, big jump. At the same time, hard to argue against Kerr, especially its rookie year. Okay.
All right. So there, Budenholzer, Kerr. Who's your coach of the year? It's a tough one right there, but I think Kerr gets that by the slightest
margins
differences. Now, next, moving on to medyo mas mahirap to. 6th man of the year, and right now we have here on our list. We have maybe 4 candidates here. We have from your hometown, Toronto Raptors represent Lou Williams.
Yeah, this guy.
From Golden State, you have Maurice Spates.
Actually, pwede rin.
Jamal Crawford from the Clippers, and Isaiah Thomas, who bounced around but is now with the Boston Celtics. And they will make the playoffs, that Boston team. So, who is your pick for 6th man here?
I think I have to go with Lou Williams. Okay, this guy, he is sometimes the go-to guy at the crunch for the Raptors. I just saw him dismantle Miami Heat over the weekend. I think I had like 29 points or so. Give him the ball, ISO, fadeaway jumper, 3-point shot. This guy, ice cold.
Ice cold pa, cold as ice.
Cold as ice. Ice cold pa rin yun. Diba?
Ice cold shooter, ibig sabihin hindi ka baka shoot eh.
Cold as ice siya. As in, walang
Ice in his veins.
ice in his veins. As in, no worries. Cool cat. Okay?
Yun.
I like Lewis, but at the
Cool
same
cat
time,
na lang.
cool cat. Hindi ba rin? Cool cat, Mike Cortez yun, di ba? So, yun, I think I have to give it to Lou Williams. Although I believe Jamal Crawford might be averaging more points.
I think he is. I think Crawford
Lou
might
Williams has been more impactful when it comes to wins and his role on the team. Okay, can even argue that Raptors have a three-headed monster: Williams, DeRozan, and
Larry.
And at crunch time, I think it's Lou Williams who is the most important.
Wow, really very interesting. I would pick Crawford, actually. Mainly because I'm going to use the MVP framework here. Right? You take Lou Williams out of Toronto, and I think in the East, they still make the playoffs. They still do. You take Crawford out of the Clippers, and I don't know. And I think they still make the playoffs, but I'm not sure if they're just they're going to be as good. They rely so much because they have no bench.
Well, at the same time, they have two
bench
stars.
aside from Crawford.
He
is the bench.
They have two superstars.
But we're talking about 6 men.
Yeah, but if you're talking about if you remove one from the team,
tagalin mo si Lou Williams, may Tyler Hansbrough.
Sabi mo sa akin,
baka may Amir Johnson ka pa, James Johnson, may Terrence Ross ka pa ng konti.
In my
Grivis Vasquez, mga
bagay, kaya ng Clippers yun, Griffin and Chris Paul.
Yeah, but
and DPOY.
Wala na silang bench pag wala sa Crawford.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Meron silang sino ba? They have Matt Barnes. They have
see what I mean?
They have
Austin
Rivers. Austin Rivers. Sige, fine. Pwede.
Yun na nga yun eh. Tagalin mo si Crawford, and the best player on that bench is the son of their head coach. Not a good sign. So there, Ron picks Lou Williams, I pick Jamal Crawford. Who's your sixth man of the year? How about this one? Most improved player of the year. Medyo, I think it's going to come down to maybe 3 candidates for this. Jimmy Butler for Chicago, who went from like an average guard, well, a slightly above average guard to an all-star this season. You have Draymond Green, who went from practically nowhere to maybe the defensive player of the year.
Possibly.
And you have Klay Thompson, who was also an all-star, scored had a crazy third quarter in that game. And then, of course, you have Giannis Antetokounmpo from Milwaukee, Greek freak. Did you see what he did a couple of games ago? He blocked a shot in like 3 steps, and he already had a layup.
Starting from, I think, the 3-1 line.
Freak ka talaga. Mutant yata si Antetokounmpo.
Grabe yun, haba. Sobrang haba. Anyway, my pick, MIP. That guy from the Bulls.
Who's your MIP? Buckets!
Butler.
Mr. All about buckets, Jimmy.
I think it's him because this guy plays a lot of minutes for a constantly defensive-minded coach.
Imposible hindi a lot of minutes.
40 minutes. Top 3 ata sa minutes to see Jimmy Butler. Close to 40 minutes per game. And he plays excellent D. Okay, maybe.
Well, he was known for his defense.
Yeah, he was known for defense, but this guy, he has a 3-point shot, averages about 20 points now. I think he rose 5 to 6 points from his previous scoring total. So Jimmy Butler, because of his overall package.
Watch out for him in the fantasy leagues next year. Jimmy Butler, I would also agree. Jimmy Butler, I think, is the winner for MIP. But I think maybe, Draymond Green can if Draymond Green wins Defensive Player, he might also win this one. I mean, he might pull the rug from other Jimmy Butler. If only, kay Green kasi you can't really see in the numbers what he does, but he's just so essential and critical to Golden State. No? Parang you take him away and their defense drops off, I think.
But what could hurt?
Their versatility drops off as well.
What could hurt Draymond is he might split or take away some votes from some people who see Klay Thompson improving from just a good shooter to somebody who's great. Okay, as in second best, maybe even after Steph Curry. Pwede,
from Rex Chapman levels, like parang Reggie Miller levels na to siya.
Pwede. You know what? That's not about the description. Yeah.
Rex Chapman. Kung kids, if you don't know Rex Chapman, Google that person.
That guy could dunk. That guy could dunk and shoot.
Alright. Okay, now we're gonna move on to, ito medyo mahirap to. Ang ating all-NBA teams. First team, second team, third. I think the first team is gonna be very easy.
First team is relatively easy.
But how about the second team and the third team? Sige. First, let's see kung pareho tayo, Royce. Who's your all-NBA first team?
I think the first team, you have to look at the guard spot. the 1A and 1B MVP candidates. You have
Sige.
Steph Curry and the Beard.
Obviously.
Mr. Harden, right?
One
James
to the
Harden.
MVP race. Medyo loko-loko ka na kung hindi mo sila lagay sa first team. Sige.
Okay, then
Forwards.
You're looking at your forwards, of course. Number one guy, the redemption guy, LBJ.
LeBron.
And maybe an MVP a year, 2 years from now.
Maybe.
Looking
He
at
was in the
Anthony-
conversation early in the
For a
season.
while, yeah. And the Pelicans might make it. So malay mo, he might,
Talo lang sila kanina.
so sayang. Anthony Davis.
Anthony
Okay?
Davis. And who's your center?
Ito, I think mahirap eh. The center could be, I think I have to go with a winning team. Guy who's a defensive anchor, averaging, I think, career highs in rebounds and points. You wanna
So,
go
ano,
with,
Thiago Splitter.
career high habit. I'm not sure.
Hindi
I have to go with Marc Gasol. Okay?
Wow, Marc Gasol. Are you sure it's that Gasol?
Sure ako. Mark ako. Mark.
Yeah, Marc Gasol has had a big leap in his game. You know, his offense is much better now than it was ever. And he just really... And Memphis was in the number 2 spot in the West for
Yeah,
most of the
they're
season.
still slightly...
They've dropped off. I think San Antonio right now is
Might be
number
tied.
2.
Uh-huh.
But Memphis has been there, and Marc Gasol is maybe the biggest reason why they've been so good this season. So I have the exact same first team. You have Mark at center, you have the Brow and the King at the forward spots, then you have Steph Curry and the Beard as your guards. Now moving on, second team. This is where things get sticky, get more complicated. Sige, ako muna. Alright, so I'm gonna start with my guards. Yung pinakamadali eh. Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
For my guards, diba? Yun ang,
Thing
set
hands
in
down.
stone yung dalawang yan for second team. My forwards, Blake Griffin is number 1. I think that's a relatively easy pick as well. Even if his numbers aren't as good as last season,
Yeah, less
I think he
rebounds.
still did a lot of good things and was very, very efficient. He's averaging a career high in assists, actually. Thanks to another guy on the second team. So DeAndre Jordan, he's my center. DeAndre Jordan is my center. All-NBA second team bucket. All right?
Okay.
I think
Your
he's
other forward.
He's high on my DPOY list, and if he wins DPOY, I think DeAndre is a shoe-in at least for third team, dapat second team in the All-NBA. My other forward, ito, medyo nandaya ako dito. Originally, ito yung sentro ko for the second team, but after reevaluating everything and checking out the positions, you could actually slide him into power forward. So my second team forward is Pau Gasol. Medyo madaya, pero
Pwede, actually.
center forward naman. He plays with Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah is a center. He's a forward, I think. So
Pwede,
I think
actually.
Pau Gasol could be the power forward. When he came into the Bulls, who expected him to be the healthiest guy there?
Okay.
Nobody. You have Derrick Rose, you have Joakim Noah, you have Jimmy Butler. I think they all played fewer games than Gasol this year.
Yeah.
Gasol's been so awesome. He's back at an all-star level. I think he deserves to be at least in one of the 3 All-NBA teams, definitely. So for me, he's second team power forward.
Okay, for me, I think guards, easy, same. Paul Westbrook. One of the forwards were the same, Blake Griffin. We'll disagree on the Pau Gasol pick because I put Pau at center. And
So
my
second team siya.
Second team siya. And my other forward is the guy in Portland. LaMarcus
Aldridge.
Okay, this guy did not undergo thumb surgery earlier in the year, I think around January or early Feb. But he still put up monster numbers. I think he's one of 3 guys averaging 20 and 10s. I think the other 2 is DeMarcus and Anthony Davis. Sila lang ata ang 20 and 10. So there's no way that this guy on a winning team, I think Portland's are at fourth or third seed, going with LaMarcus Aldridge. I guess my disagreement on DeAndre Jordan, he doesn't do much offensively.
Whoa!
Okay, defensively,
He does what he has to. He doesn't overstretch.
defensively, andun siya, but offensively, pwedeng liability, especially when it comes to hack and Jordan.
Yun lang.
Yun lang. Anyway, third team.
Okay, third team. I put LaMarcus in my third team. Actually, LaMarcus is a very, very good choice. I think I wouldn't mind if he's in second team. Actually,
Pwede rin.
I just think that
Losing team though.
Third team would be perfect for LaMarcus Aldridge. For the same reasons you put it in the second team. Next, the other forward for my third team is
Oh no, the claw?
The claw, baby!
Wow.
Kawhi! Kawhi Leonard, Finals MVP last year, playing at an insane level post All-Star break.
Yeah.
He is awesome. He is on the third team. And then my two guards, Buckets, Jimmy Butler from middling guard to All-Star guard.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls would be nowhere without him and Pau, so they're both in these teams right here. In point guard, medyo I debated with myself about this, but ultimately I chose Kyrie Irving. Ang dami pwede may John Wall, may Damon Lillard, may Kyle Lowry. Pero Kyrie Irving for me, big jump in his game. Even if LeBron came in, even if Kevin Love came in, new system with David Blatt, he still put up a lot of good numbers. He had that insane game where he got the career high.
50-something points.
And I think in the playoffs, we're going to see a very, very good Kyrie Irving.
Yeah,
he has no experience.
Playoff debut.
I think he's going to take that as a challenge, and it's actually going to make him more dangerous. My center on the third team is DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
Overall, by the numbers, the best center. By the numbers, the best center in the league right now. So DeMarcus is on my third team.
AD
power forward.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good.
So, I think we're the same with center. DeMarcus Cousins, I mentioned he's one of the 3 players, but he's getting a lot less. No suspensions, I think, this year. He's a 20 and 10 player, DeMarcus
Just
Cousins.
because he had those suspensions, for that alone, he should be in the third team.
Yeah. Then, I think forwards, I guess I'm cheating somewhat. I put Jimmy Butler as a forward.
Boy, Jimmy Butler forward!
GF, there's small forward, pwede siya.
Sige na nga.
While we chose Kawhi as the other forward slot, I have to give it to the big fundamental for me.
Old Man River Walk.
Tim Duncan.
But even Duncan says it's Kawhi's team now.
Yeah, you know how modest this guy is, Tim Duncan. So, pwede si Kawhi. I'll just go with Duncan. I mean, maybe it's his last hurrah. We're not sure, right? But I'll go with Duncan. Then guards, sticking with Uncle Drew for one. Okay.
Uncle Drew.
But the other guy, I think this guy is carrying a Wizards team. I like John Wall as well.
J. Wall.
Again, pwedeng maraming iba dyan. Pwedeng ang Lowry. Actually, you can even say, how about Klay Thompson as your 2 guard? Pwede din.
Nice lang.
But I'll go with John Wall.
John Wall. John was a good choice actually.
He was a lot better earlier in the year. He's
averaging a double with
slowed down a little bit.
Points and assists. I think siya lang yata tsaka si Chris Paul yung ganyan. So yeah, I wouldn't mind having John Wall there as well. So those are our first, second, and third teams all NBA. Who are your picks? Please tweet us. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to like us on Facebook as well. Hoopnut.com. Check out the blog.
Right,
check
guys.
us out on YouTube and iTunes.
Watch out for our previews.
Next up, next episode, we're gonna talk about PBA again. By the next episode, malamang we're in the middle of the PBA finals already, and then after that, we're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs as well. Thank you very much. This is Rolly and Enzo signing out for now.
Enjoy.